Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the program. You found the None of the Above podcast, broadcasting live worldwide on the internet. Up north, we've got everybody's favorite wildflower, Anna Rose.
Hello.
Yay. I'll put some applause right there. That'll be cute. You'll see. And sitting next to her, slightly out of frame and completely off kilter. Off cam Dan.
Hello.
How we doing, pal?
Pretty good.
Good to hear. Glad to have you here tonight. At least, if only for a moment. Then the moment's gone. I've got a pretty good show lined up for you tonight. I'm pretty low key, folks. You have to forgive the low energy, but that's life sometimes. Still here for it. Trying to wake up. Thought about doing some calisthenics, and I went, nah. It's too much. Can't do it. Talk about all kinds of stuff tonight, I reckon. Got a little bit of news. Yeah. News of the weird and wacky, of course. That's kind of our MO. And we're going to talk about some cult leaders. It's kind of a, I don't know, that's something people sit around and talk about, cults and cult leaders. I guess people that fall victim to cults might do that, but we don't really do that. You ever know anybody that was in a cult? I've never.
No, I haven't, but I
No.
have thought many times that I could see that person going into a cult.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
I could see somebody, like sometimes some personalities, I'm like, they have a personality. They'd be in a cult.
They'd be in a cult or they'd be leading a cult. That's one of the questions I hope we can answer later is that, what makes people become, fall victim to it, and what makes people claim to be the, anyway, we'll get to all that. That's after a while. You guys heard anything lately in the news? There was a plane crash today or yesterday. Today, man, a Kentucky UPS plane.
Yeah, it is really sad.
Caught
And
fire.
it like as soon as it took off, it crashed.
Yeah,
So something happened.
that one
Had one engine on fire the whole time it was taking off.
Right. Yeah, that's what I saw too. That some truck driver or something had some footage from his dash cam. It was just watching the whole goddamn thing, spreading fire for miles, man, for miles.
And he freaked out, man. I would too.
Yeah.
What else do you do but just get out of your truck and run around? I mean, that's what he did. That's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. Yeah, so that's pretty far out. We had recently had the hurricane in Jamaica. That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Some of the highest.
I followed that a little bit.
The worst hurricanes ever. Like it was like worse than Katrina, worse than some of the worst ones that's hit the U.S.
I did see that picture of the drone that went inside of it.
Yeah.
Did you see that? That was pretty wild.
Yeah. Renee's all about the weather, so she's got the remote. That's what's happening, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm down for it because no one can predict it or control it, so you're along for the ride.
Yeah. They used to do that in the old days with a plane. They flew a plane down in the eye of the storm. Guess they don't really have to do that anymore. That goes back to that cybernetic organisms, man. That's what it is. They see them drones flying around. It's a cybernetic organism. They'll just put the AI in one of them, and there you go.
Up.
It's like it's a creature.
They've already got it. They've even got planes that do that.
See, there you go. We're doomed, man. We're doomed. We're doomed.
Yeah, it's already taken over, baby. We're done.
There's going to be no more of us left. Dying breed. But it's just my opinion. See what else we got there. Did you hear about?
How was your Halloween? Did you guys do anything?
I went to band. I had band practice.
Okay, so you did have band practice.
Yeah.
So did Renee stay home then?
Yes.
She played. Did you pass out candy or anything?
She did not pass out candy. Yeah, I imagine she had if I had been home, she would turn the lights out and shut the curtains, and we don't get any trick or treaters anyway. There was none in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I drove
I
from
heard
here. I drove from here to like over off Lackland and Lindbergh and Page over in that area, and saw none. Saw zero trick or treaters anywhere I went through
really.
two big neighborhoods. Yeah.
Well, I heard after the fact it was kind of 50-50 from the people I talked to whether or not they had like trick or treaters or they had hardly any. We went in to the city, obviously, because we live in the middle of nowhere, so we can't trick or
Yeah.
treat out here. So the kids had school, and then we went in, and so we just hung out at a friend's house with all the cousins and family, and then they had a lot of trick or treaters. We ran out of candy, and we
Wow.
had to go up to Walmart and buy 6 more bags
Yeah.
because like halfway through we were out of candy, and kids were still coming.
That was partially because of how much he was passing out. He was telling each kid as much as you can grab with one hand. So every
Oh,
kid that came up
yeah.
was grabbing a giant handful.
Good
Because they all
Lord.
were so cute, and, so we were just, like, letting them. But we ran out, so we had to, like, change our plan real fast.
Emergency candy run in the middle of the festivities.
Mhm.
Man, we were talking the other night about excuse me, having to, go home and dump your pillowcase out because it was so full, and then going back out. And I don't, where did the appeal go? Why don't kids want to do that anymore? Were they never
I don't
taught that to
know.
begin with?
I don't know what it is because it like, even my kids, like, there was my daughter trick-or-treated, and then there was Spencer's daughter trick-or-treated, so they trick-or-treated together. They went down and around the block or whatever, but once their bag was full, they came home, they were done. They just played and stuff, like, they didn't really care to do all that, and then when we ran out of candy, we put popcorn in there until I got back, like, bags of popcorn and they loved it, and then I seen a video of some guy who puts potatoes and then a thing of candy and then lets the kids choose. And he goes
And
through
they
20
choose the
pounds
potato.
of potatoes and like 2 bags of candy because the kids will choose the potato. Like kids are not candy fanatics like they used to be when I was a kid. They
Hmm.
just aren't. They like it and they like to have some candy, but it's
What,
not
what the
like
hell?
when we were a kid and we would
What the
just like
hell's wrong with them
Halloween.
kids?
The next day, I probably was in a sugar coma. How
Yeah.
much sugar I had.
What the hell's wrong with them kids taking the potato over the candy?
I know.
Morons?
Yeah, they'll take the potato or the bag of popcorn. The kids liked it.
Yeah, yeah, I wonder if their parents will let them eat it. They tell
I
you
don't know.
don't eat anything that's
I know
not in
people are
factory
weird.
wrappers, man. There's weird folks out there, and there are, but
Yeah,
I don't know. Good Lord.
I know.
Did you hear about the 3 escaped monkeys on that truck in Mississippi?
No.
Heidelberg, Mississippi. 3 monkeys remained on the loose Wednesday as searchers in masks, face shields, and other protective gear scoured fields along a rural Mississippi highway, where a truck carrying the primates overturned a day earlier. It remained unclear who owns the monkeys, who was transporting them, and where they were being taken when the truck crashed on Interstate 59 north of Heidelberg. Authorities have said most of the 21 monkeys were killed, but haven't elaborated on just what occurred. Jasper County Sheriff's Department has said animal experts from Tulane University examined the trailer Tuesday evening and determined 3 monkeys had escaped. The truck was carrying rhesus monkeys, which typically weigh about 16 pounds apiece. Yeah, that's pretty big for an
Yeah,
animal.
good size.
They're the most medically studied animals on the planet. Video recorded after the crash showed monkeys crawling through the tall grass beside the interstate, where wooden crates labeled live animals were crumpled and strewn about. The truck was no longer at the scene, but the searchers in gear, including white coats, gloves, and hairnets, were checking the fields, aided by law enforcement. Jasper County Sheriff Randy Johnson said the officials reported the monkeys were not infectious, despite initial reports by the truck's occupants warning that the monkeys were dangerous and harboring various diseases. Nonetheless, Johnson said the monkeys still needed to be neutralized because of their aggressive nature. So they're gonna kill them.
They
They
killed
Did
them.
they find all of them?
Yeah, they killed them all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think authorities killed 2, and then some woman was with her kid and shot it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This here says that all other monkeys were being transported back to Louisiana, and they were being cared for. These monkeys.
Okay, so did it say where they were from? Is it from that university?
Hang on. Let me reread this part here. The monkeys were being housed at Tulane University, which routinely provides primates to scientific organizations. Oh, I think that's where they were being transported from, was Tulane University. I don't know. It's unclear. Apparently, the AP Newswire isn't very good. They all had proper documentation and certificates of veterinary inspection for legal transport. If anyone sees the monkeys, they should call authorities and shouldn't approach the animals.
Yeah, that's
Did
gotta
they
be
s-
that's gotta be old because the 3 that escaped, the 2 were dispatched by authorities, and 1 was still on the loose. And then, like the following day, some woman was on a walk with her kid or something along those lines, and ended up shooting the monkey because she was afraid or defending. I don't know what exactly her story was, but
So were they infected with anything?
No. They said they had just been inspected and had certificates making them safe for travel and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, you think about it, that's one event. That's one time that it wrecked and they escaped. How many times are monkeys being transported like that could be infectious or
Okay, well also, this is not the first transportation of monkeys that went awry and
Yeah.
monkeys are now loose that I've heard in the past 6 months.
and say there's one in North Carolina here at the bottom. It said this came after 43 rhesus
Yes,
monkeys
I
escaped
heard
from
about
South
that too.
Carolina compound.
That
That's
was
from the
pretty
breeder
recently.
because they didn't fully lock an enclosure and they got out.
Yeah, and they were just roaming the streets everywhere.
Mhm.
And then I heard of another one too. And I'm just like, what is going on?
Well, as someone that worked in that industry, I never had that happen to me. I mean, I wasn't transporting monkeys, but I transported lab rats briefly. I mean, I could see how it could happen, I suppose. It's, but a monkey's smart.
Yeah.
A mouse or hamster might not find its way out of the little thing if you leave it open or whatever, but it probably will. But a monkey for sure would. There's
Yeah. Also, a mouse or mice or a rat or whatever it is,
Mhm.
it would go like even if you like was in my woods, I would never know it ever. Probably that it's in
No, I
there. A
mean you
monkey,
could
I
see
would.
it. You'd see, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think the monkey could hide up there, hide in your woods, and you'd never know it was there. I mean, if it was trying to avoid you, it could do it.
Yeah, I guess it could.
I mean, wouldn't you think? Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I don't want to see no damn monkeys in my woods.
No, anywhere. I don't. Not in the wild.
How about this? You want to change jobs? Got a new job for you. Here's how much you can earn per day as a professional hand model.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
This woman
I just
here, I'll tell you, you'll find out. Avisha Tawani, 35, began working in the industry in 2020 after originally working as a freelance stylist, which she does alongside running her own business and modeling. After helping a family member on a shoot for a wedding and engagement rings, she submitted the photos to an agent and was working within the first week or two of being signed. And this is a real story, man. I can't believe it. Since then, she's worked with household names like Starbucks, Coca-Cola Absolute, Kylie Cosmetics. Hey, get the Kardashians. This is 2 weeks in a row we've mentioned the Kardashians. Earning anywhere from $300 to $3,000 per day. She's branched out in other body part modeling, including legs, feet, ears, and neck. She's a
okay, but
neck model.
that's like only when she works. So like is she landing a job every day?
Well, if you think about what she's actually doing, if you
Yeah.
think about the pictures that how many of those photos do you see a day where there's a nondescript woman that you don't know who it is, can't see her face, or maybe you can see, part of her face and most of her neck. How many Jared commercials do you see during the holiday? How many, all that stuff?
Yeah.
Commercials for gloves or for a ring. Like once again, Jared or
Shoes.
yeah,
I mean,
in
anything.
print, you see it in advertisements on the billboards. So the demand, I reckon, is pretty high.
It's probably pretty
for
high, and
handy.
it's probably a competitive field to be in. I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
there's a whole field, and there's people that,
whole
they're a
stable.
hand model or they're a whatever model,
Mhm.
and they have a manager that manages them. I mean, I'm sure that happens.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
it happens.
I know it
That's
does.
definitely a
There's women
job that
here.
AI could take over. A
Oh,
hand
yeah,
model could
Yeah,
definitely have.
that's true.
definitely.
Yeah, man. So maybe they're going to be on their way out. There's a famous Seinfeld episode where George has become a hand model.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you ever
I've
seen
been
that
on a
one?
Seinfeld kick. I've been going to sleep
Oh,
with it at
dude,
night.
it's great. It's great. It's my favorite sitcom ever.
Which one did we watch last night?
Oh man, I don't know. I fell asleep.
Yeah, it's good to fall asleep to.
Oh, it was the one where they go to the restaurant and she wouldn't try the cheesecake or whatever it was, and she's like, "No, no, no." And then he goes to her dad's restaurant and his dad doesn't wash his hands.
Yeah, yeah,
And then she's like, "Try it." And he's like, "No, no,
yeah.
no, no."
Poppy.
Poppy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And the coffee table
that's a
one, I
good one.
just saw that one
Oh,
the other
with
day.
the ring on the
Yeah.
coffee table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to have people over. My mom and dad
Right.
worked out.
He's like fucking 40 years old. George is the ultimate loser, man. He's the ultimate loser. He's the bigger loser than anybody else on TV. You know what I mean?
Or oh
He's
no, it was the one where he gets that job where he goes like mid-interview and they didn't tell him he got the job or whatever, but the guy was gonna be out of town. What was his name?
so he
Mister
just
I forget.
so he just
So he just
assumed that he got
goes.
it. Yeah,
Yes.
just showed up. Yeah, started
Yeah.
working. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's awesome, man.
Oh,
See the
and that
thing
was when Elaine's the mannequin
that
was
looks just it was
yes.
naked. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They went and made her put clothes on it. Then Kramer steals it at the end. Got it in the car with him, so he can drive in the carpool lane if he's got somebody in the car with him.
Yeah. Such a good show. Such
It
a good show.
was extremely well written, extremely well acted. That ensemble worked so fucking good together. They were great,
Mhm.
great chemistry, great all the great things, man. It really was good. It was, and man, they went out while they were still at the top of the heap. They're about the only one ever to do that. I was disappointed in their ending. How that
Yeah.
ended up. I
I
hated
always
the
like
last
anytime I
episode.
rewatch the series, the last I just don't have to watch it. I can just start over again. Like I don't need to I don't like it. It should have been different. How do you
Yep,
think
I
it should have
agree.
ended? Like if you could have done the ending.
I don't know. It could have been a lot of things. They could have went a lot of different routes. I don't really get what they were going for here. It doesn't. It's so out there and stupid. And while the characters did stupid things, the comments they were making on everybody were so spot on and perfect that the comments weren't stupid. The comment was profound, but that what was profound about what were they saying? That these people really are the worst people in the world. They are, because everybody comes in and talks total shit on them. Everybody.
Mhm.
I'm soup Nazi guy was there, and all the people. They treated me poorly. They, ruined my business, and all this crazy shit happened. Like the fucking waiter that got fired for catching the napkin on fire or whatever. Do you ever see that one? They get him
I'm
fired.
I watched the whole thing from the whole series, I don't know, 2 years ago. Like, I'd seen episodes before, but I had never, like, sat down and watched the whole
Right.
series. And you always talked it up like nobody's
Yeah.
business. So we were I don't know what we were doing, but I was like, "Alright." It came on Netflix. I think that's when it came on Netflix, and I was like,
Mm.
"Alright, I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and
Here we
start
go.
it." And I did watch the whole thing, but I watched it fast, so I don't really remember all the
Binge.
episodes. So I've been watching it again. I've watched it a couple times again. But it's still, like, you have to watch it a couple times to remember everything all the time because there's, like, just so much stupid shit that
Yeah.
happens. It's so much little stuff, and
I've
it's
got.
hard to remember what episode goes with what episode. Like, what goes
Yeah.
with what? Does the coffee table go with this episode? Because there's always a little something that's different with everybody.
Yeah.
So
I'm
it's
not
hard for
sure
me to
that.
remember what's what still.
Yeah.
Now,
I can
Friends,
tell.
I can line that whole show.
Ugh, don't
I
even
know
get
you
me
don't
started.
like it.
I can't even hear that song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I can't even hear it. It's so bad. That's a band that I like. Even the Rembrandts, I like them, but
Dan, what do you like more, Seinfeld or Friends?
excuse me.
Man, I don't know. I think Seinfeld probably.
I can just
Friends has
relate more to Seinfeld.
I definitely, as I get older, because I watched Friends when I was younger, but
Yeah,
as
me
I
too.
become like an adult, like and I'm older, Seinfeld is way
Yeah,
funnier. I love
yeah.
Seinfeld so much more than Friends.
Friends got to be where it was just okay. Now let's just everybody swap partners. Now we've been for years with you being with this girl. Now you're going to go with this other girl in the cast, and you know what I mean. It's like
It
we're
wasn't
just
like
taking
that.
turns. That's what it felt like. And it wasn't really because Monica and Chandler got together, right?
Yeah.
And
And Ross and Rachel got together.
right, yeah.
And that was it.
It just seems like they're swapping
Well, I
partners.
guess at one point, yeah, there was one point where Rachel got with Joey, and that was real awkward, and everybody hated it. And I remember whenever it was like on air and it came out, it was a big controversy because nobody liked that storyline. That's not how that's supposed to go. And they ended it real quickly.
I didn't like Joey. He was stupid. I didn't. I
See,
don't.
I liked him in the beginning, like the first 2 or 3 seasons, maybe the first 2 seasons. I did like him, but once he got older, it was just the stupidness was too stupid.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, it does. Because Chandler was stupid in a funny way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was
It was
dumb.
more of an intellectual way. It was a little bit more of an intellectual way. But even Kramer on Seinfeld, he's stupid, but he's funny. He's still like he does stupid things, but it's still funny. It's not like Joey's stupid on Friends.
Yeah, and he worked on a soap opera or whatever.
Yeah, he was like an
He's an
actor.
actor. Whatever, man. I just see. I think that's so dumb. I don't know why I think it's dumb, but it is.
Yeah.
Didn't Joey and Phoebe hook up too? It's like maybe it wasn't that they were trading partners, it's just that everybody was banging everybody. They were all
No.
friends. No?
No. No, they never did. I do remember an episode where they did um like if we both turn 40 and we're not married yet, we'll marry each other.
Mm,
What is that called?
yeah,
Someone's like,
I know what
you
you're
40
know,
and
talking about.
Lonely.
yeah, or something, and they had chosen they got each other, but that was the only thing. They never got together or anything.
All right. Well, I still
Joey
stand
did
by
get with
things that I
Ursula,
hate.
Phoebe's twin sister.
Okay.
They had a
I did,
thing.
there you go.
And then Phoebe
Ah,
had to dress like Ursula to, like ease the breakup because Ursula was just gonna ghost him. So she dressed up like her and went and broke up with him. And they kissed. He kissed her and then realized it was Phoebe because it wasn't like Ursula's
it
kiss.
didn't feel right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it was very big. It was as popular as Seinfeld. And people
I never
made
did like it.
lots of
I only
money.
started watching it because Anna was watching it.
Yeah. I never liked it either. But you ever watch, let's see. No, you might be too young for that. Party of Five. You ever watch Party of Five?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
God dang it. I'm so fucking old. Wasn't Friends, was that in the 90s?
Yeah.
It was in the
I did
2000s.
watch 90210.
Yeah, I watched the first few years of it. It was on
I
about the same
watched
time. Party of
I
Five was
didn't
on.
watch the first few years, like I didn't watch. I don't remember watching that. I mean, I did catch up and everything, but I do remember the series finale. Like I sat down with my mom and my sister, and we because my mom watched the show, so it was something that was a big thing. So
Mhm.
we would always sit down and watch. Like I remember that. I was little,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember watching it.
like my kids' age.
My sisters, who I hung out with incessantly back then, that's what they watched. So that's what I watched,
Yeah, you weren't getting a choice.
Although me and Keith used to watch it too. Because it was the 90s and we were teenagers or just out. It would, out of school, but not quite adults yet, one of them kind of deals. You guys kind of went right from school to being adults, but didn't you? Didn't you kind of? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. We don't got to talk about that. Let's talk about a crazy habit that drives Americans crazy.
All right, let's hear it.
Americans shocked by genuinely insane Australian pajama habit. An
Do
early
they have a
morning,
weird pajama habit?
apparently so. An early morning ritual many of us do has officially been debunked after a popular U.S. influencer branded the common bedtime habit gross. Brett Chody, a content creator with over 200,000 TikTok followers, shared a fact she said was genuinely insane for not knowing. In the video, the 25-year-old referenced a poll posted by We Met at Acme, a podcast hosted by Lindsay Metzeler, that people asked people what they do with their pajamas after they take them off in the morning. The options were: would you wash them? You put them back in the drawer? Do you put them under or behind your pillow? The pollers could also select other. Brett said that the option for putting them under your pillow was winning by a landslide, which came as a total shock. I've genuinely never once in my life heard of anyone putting pajamas under or behind their pillow after you wear them, she said. Can someone explain? Because I feel like I'm going insane because that answer was winning. I have so many questions. I'm shook over this. Most commentators on the now viral video thought that it was an obvious thing to do, most of them being Australian. I thought this was an Australian thing, one commenter said. Aussie here. PJs go under my pillow, another agreed. Lots were even more concerned about what the alternative would be. I didn't know that people didn't do this. It makes most sense. Where else do they go? Said one person. Well, so do you guys I don't sleep with any clothes on. You guys go to bed with clothes on?
No, but I mean, yes. Okay, so I have clothes. Like I just took a shower tonight, and I'm wearing my pajamas. Right, I have a hoodie on,
Right.
but and whenever I go to bed, I'll either whatever I'm not gonna wear into the bed, I take off and lay over the corner of the bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like my sweatpants and my hoodie, and I usually just have underwear and a tank top or underwear and a bra, sports bra, or not, whatever underwear doesn't matter, whatever. Then go to bed. Then when I get up in the morning, my clothes are right there, and I just get up
Right.
and put my clothes on,
Yeah.
and then I go to the
But
bathroom and stuff.
that's not what I'm asking. That's not what these people are asking. Those aren't your pajamas. Pajamas are what people sleep in. That's what they're talking about. You wake up
And
in
I
the
don't wear
morning, take off your
pajamas.
pajamas to get dressed to go about your daily business, and put your pajamas under your pillow.
Now I do wear clothes to bed, but I don't put them on my pillow when I'm done. I usually put them on the back of the toilet
And
because
I
we have our
think
own
that is
bathroom.
the
Right.
grossest place in the world to put them.
Well, if we had some kind of shelf, I'd throw them on a shelf, but I'll wear them twice. I get out of a clean shower, put these clothes on, and I sleep in them.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what pajamas are. And then when they get to where you need to wash them, you wash them and you get a new pair or a new set.
How many
I don't
times do
think
you wear
I
your
don't
pajamas? or bedclothes.
If people are washing their pajamas after what, well, you know what? I know somebody that's like that, and they would only wear them. They'd wear them for the few hours they were in the bed, and the next morning throw them in the laundry. I would
Well,
not do that. I
growing up,
probably
growing
go on.
up, we never wore pajamas. We always wore
Yeah.
bedclothes, and that's what my grandma always called them.
Or underwear.
Put your bedclothes on.
Yeah.
That's just what.
No, I
And
call
we never called
bedclothes. I call bedclothes the sheets and the pillows and the blankets. That's what I call bedclothes.
Oh no, you wear bedclothes like your bedclothes, like what you wear to go to bed.
Yeah, the rest of the world calls them pajamas.
Nope, I
Some
don't wear
people call them jammies.
PJs.
PJs. Yep. I think most people nowadays refer to that as go put on your lounging clothes so we can lounge around in the living room, watch movies or whatever. It's Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
put your jammies on and make popcorn.
Yeah, I get us Christmas jammies, and then that's what the kids open on Christmas Eve when we get home.
So
Everything
that's
they
the
get to
next
open a
morning.
gift. Then they
Next
put all their jammies on and everything, and then Santa comes.
Yeah. Don't get me started there. We already talked about that once.
I know.
Have mercy. So, you guys ever hear of Jim Jones?
Doesn't sound familiar.
I watched or listened to a big documentary on Modern Maid. Goes through like 7 or 10 episodes, and they're all like hours long.
Yeah.
Very in depth. Goes through his whole life, but I listened to that whole thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's totally a crazy story. I think a lot of these stories that we're going to look at tonight are, it's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable to me that they would have such a reach. I get, I get, like, I even understand you wanting to believe in it, and I just can't believe that people bought into it. They thought it was real.
Is this the drink the Kool-Aid guy?
It is the drink the Kool-Aid guy.
Yeah, this is the guy where that saying comes from.
Jim Jones. Yeah. The People's
Yeah,
Temple.
how do people get to drinking the Kool-Aid? I don't know,
Well,
man.
he came about in the 60s, and it was a time of turmoil for our country. Just once, like, kind of like we are now, divided. Vietnam was very divisive. Lots of people thought we should be there. Lots of people thought we shouldn't be there. Most young people thought we shouldn't be there, and they were drafting young kids to go over there. 18 was the average age.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. But anyway, and this, I think his movement kind of offered refuge for outcasts and marginalized people, black folks, poor folks, gay folks. He started out as just a preacher. He was a Protestant, I think. He wasn't a priest, obviously, but he was a preacher and offered people comfort in God, which I understand doing. But this kid got real political, and like I
Well, I
said, the
think
people.
he learned how to con people a long time ago, and
Yeah.
Him getting in that church, he's seen those big arena churches,
Mm-hmm.
and he was wanting to idolize those and replicate those. And actually, one of the guys that was going to retire from his church, he was actually trying to take that church over so he could be like a superpower. And that didn't end up going through, and that's what actually made him move out, I think, to California and start up his own
San Francisco.
kind of, start up his own kind of thing. since he couldn't take over this one church.
Let's
He got a
see.
bunch of the people to leave with him, though.
Like, is he just that persuasive, or has he like brainwashed them
No, I
into
think
thinking?
he's that good of a con person because that's how he had
Yeah.
to survive his whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. So there was drugs. He was getting high and shit the whole time.
Yeah, I
With
think the
what?
drugs came later, but he really did empathize with minorities and stuff. He was a big civil rights activist, so he was accepting. He was one of the first to have integrated churches with white
Yeah.
people, and that was
Mhm.
kind of what separated him from his original Protestant or whatever he was originally. Like his small town didn't really accept him because he was letting too many marginalized people into his church, so he had to
Right.
move out and expand.
Well, then that's good then, right?
Yeah,
What
at
he was
first it
doing
started
was
as
good.
a huge, like a great gesture. He was all positive. There was like none of the weird shit was going on early. It was just a great church, accepted everybody, doing great things for the community. They actually provided like thousands of meals. They did like a Meals on Wheels or Meals for Homeless, and he organized food distribution kitchens. Like he had very organized church structure, and he was providing all kinds of things for communities. So he was doing great in the early years. It wasn't till later on when he started getting heavier into drugs where things went south.
Is that what it is? Is drugs is what makes
Well,
you?
going back to it became political, according to Wikipedia. It got super. He was a communist. He was preaching socialism and communism as the way to go, according to this.
Yeah, he did. That is true.
Well, then that once again, how did he get people to follow it? None of that works. None of that works. Communism doesn't work. Socialism doesn't work. There is no utopia. It doesn't exist. You can't
Yeah.
create it.
He was able to provide it for a while. I mean, he gave people homes. Like he was making churchgoers like take people into their personal homes because he didn't have places for them, but he was making whatever he could work. And I think he just had one of those personalities where people were just on board with whatever he said.
Well, and I guess if you're desperate to the point where you don't know what you're going to do, and you don't have your next meal, you don't have it, you don't have a place to, and he's offering you all this stuff, and then
And he did perform miracles, and that's what got a lot of people into his church too. And the miracles were all staged. Like he had different people.
mm,
And I think
That like adds to his con.
yeah.
Yeah. So he
then
would
he
fake things and
so
then make them
tell you
seem
what,
like miracles.
Yeah.
he fed all those homeless people just to enforce the con.
I think like he said, early on he was doing good, but later when he started his own his own church, I forget what it was called. What
The
was it called?
people's temple.
Yeah, People's Temple, right. During that time is when he was doing a lot more of the faking, trying to get because he really needed to grow his church. He
Yeah,
realized he
well,
couldn't get that big church, so he kind of did whatever he could, I think, to get members into his temple.
so they moved to Guyana in summer of 77. Several hundred temple members and Jones, and built Jonestown to escape building pressure from San Francisco media investigations. Jones left the same night that an editor at New West magazine read to him an article to be published detailing allegations of abuse by former temple members.
Yeah,
It
he kept
was,
everybody scared of everything. Like he actually staged a fake shooting, and then he was miraculously healed the next day by God.
yeah,
But it was all staged, and
Damn, are you fucking kidding me?
no, because they were saying that people were after us, and that's why they had to move to Guyana.
yeah.
So he was
To get everybody to move, he did that.
that was part of the reason. Yeah, and he was doing all these drugs and making him super paranoid. So he himself was also paranoid that
Yeah.
they were coming after him.
Everybody
So
was
he was
trying.
super worried.
Yeah.
Guyana was not set up for that many people. They had, and
No.
I think they had 4 or 5 barracks set up, and they were still building. this is in the middle of the jungle. There's no utilities, water. They had to
roads.
they had to take like an hour tractor ride after they landed through the woods or
Damn.
through the jungle.
Yeah, from the airport.
Yeah.
900 people. It was slightly under 900 people at its peak in 1978.
Yeah, that's when he freaked out and moved his entire church out and said they ought to come. And everybody that was building said, we're not ready for that many people. And they all came, and food ran out really fast. And
Is that
Yeah,
whenever he made the Kool-Aid?
yeah,
that's what how it
well,
ended.
that was, yeah, also the authorities came for him.
Right. They really were coming for him this time.
Yeah.
A senator or a congressman came to like inspect and see, because some people had escaped and had called authorities and said, look, man, this shit is going on down there and it is not good.
Yeah, they've moved the whole church. So there's like 90-year-old people down in the jungle with no AC.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
No doctors or nothing. I mean, no nothing. Dude, what kind of resources have they got?
But he was so wigged out. He was on the PA like every couple hours,
Yeah.
either preaching or going spewing these things to make everybody scared.
Going on rants. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a few times he freaked out thinking that people were coming and made everybody like, I guess they knew all what to do, but they all had grabbed guns or shovels and basically went out to the perimeter waiting for somebody to attack.
Yep.
And they were all false alarms. And then finally somebody, the authorities actually did come. And yeah, it's been a while since I heard the documentary, so I forget all the details, but
yeah, I've watched a few films. There's one famous one from the early 80s with Powers Booth in it, and it's pretty bad. He does a pretty good job, but it was a TV movie, so they rounded the edges on some of the darker, scary,
Details.
hard
Yeah.
shit. Right. But then I watched a modern independent feature of it, which was the same story. And they were calling him Dad. Everybody called him Dad or Father. He'd sit kind of on his throne in the middle of the communal, like mess hall kind of area, and everybody would come and pay homage to him.
And he slept with almost every woman there at the church.
He slept with, according to, he slept with half the men there.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. He was kind of like Charlie Manson, who I didn't elect to talk about because he's been talked about to death. And I don't even think he was really a cult, but there's just some misguided kids.
This guy's wife, from before the whole cult thing really started, when he first started his church, he married somebody, and she stuck with him throughout all of it.
The whole thing.
Yeah. Have sleep. She knew he had other girlfriends and sleeping with everybody, and she was.
It's a communal.
I don't know.
It's a communal. Communist. Everybody gets some. Yeah, the people tried to escape. There was a torture hole.
Oh yeah, and beatings in the church.
Yeah,
was kind of a normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Thorazine, sodium pentothal, chlorohydrate, Demerol, and Valium were administered in an extended care unit with people that had tried to escape. Get them addicted to drugs, and they couldn't run because they needed the drugs.
They'd have these late night sessions in the church where just the top members would stay up and basically talk about gossip. And if they found out anybody was like doing something against the church or the church wasn't for, then they would punish them the next day. But it was just like hours. They said sometimes they stay up till like 4 or 5 in the morning on these gossip things where they'd get up and yell at people for going against the church or doing things the church didn't approve of.
Yeah.
And he would go on just like a couple hours of sleep because he was just drugs all the time.
Kind of sounds like. Go ahead.
They were getting $65,000 a month from Social Security from some of the residents. There were 900 people, so all them old people that he took down there.
Yep.
All gave up their, they're having to give it to church. It's offering to God, $65,000 is a lot of money in 1978, man.
If you wanted to join his church, you had to sign over everything. Any deeds, any titles, and all your bank accounts.
Communal.
Yep. But he did provide everything for a long time until he decided to move everybody to the jungle.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, it's because if you're a megalomaniac, your ego is
Yeah.
so you just think you can make no mistake. Every decision is the right one. And if he feels like he's being inspired by God, how do you can't doubt it, right? I mean,
No, not if you're in the church.
God
If
dang,
you want
man.
to, if you want to be part of that community, I mean, that's what a lot of these people are looking for. It's just something to be accepted by community.
I
Yeah,
guess.
and I think that they'll tell them, this is what we believe too, and this is what, all the things they make you feel like you're not, I don't know. I just think it's crazy.
They decided eventually that they needed to move to Russia. Ain't that right? Did you hear that
I
too?
think he had talks about that, but he had never actually set anything up. Like,
He no longer trusted the Guyanese. He directed members to write over a dozen foreign governments inquiring about immigration policies relevant to another exodus that he was planning.
yeah, but he'd never had anything set up. It was just,
North Korea, Albania, Yugoslavia, Soviet Union, Cuba.
I think he sent, so when he was going through all his girlfriends, one of his main girls, not his wife, her husband, he sent like over to Germany to like scope out a spot, but that was really just to get rid of him for a couple months.
Yeah, get him out of his hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when he listened to this because he would come home and he would talk about it.
yeah,
It was a long time. It was a lot that he listened to. How
yeah.
long was that? Did
I
you?
I think it was something ridiculous. There's like 7 or 10 episodes, and they're all like an hour and a half long. So I was listening to 8 hours worth of
That?
Jim Jones life.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Oh, he thought it was intriguing.
Well, he
I've
went through all those civil rights things, and that was really interesting. I mean, he was a part of a lot of it, like the bus riots and things. Like he was
yeah.
part of that.
Yeah, no, he was an activist in the 60s for sure, dude.
Like they said, if it wasn't for his cult, he would go down the history books for being a civil rights activist.
I could see
Because
that.
he did so much until it just went awry.
Yeah, man, the wheels just fell off. He went off the rails, man.
Drugs.
Yep. Quaaludes, injectable Valium, stimulants, and barbiturates. Claim up. There you go. There's the chink in the armor right there. Anna yawning.
I know I need to go get myself a cup of coffee.
So everybody's coming to get him, and he talks everybody in there. Well, not everybody. Some people didn't do it, I reckon, but to drink poison. They're feeding it to their babies.
Did they know?
Yeah, they
They
knew
did.
because they thought that was a better alternative than what the
Then what
government was
was
coming
going
to
to
do to them.
happen to them when the
Yeah,
government come and took? Yeah, they're going to take us back to and put us in prison and do all this kind of shit. In the movie, that's the penultimate moment. That's the climax of the movie. It's nuts, man. He's just sitting there, just come on, children, come on, come on, come on. And they're just coming and getting their little cup full and drinking it and laying down. They just drank it and just laid down where they were at. And then the footage of it,
Fucking crazy.
when the reporters and the authorities did show up, there's just all these dead people laying everywhere. Just like 900 of the motherfuckers. Now, I don't really know what happened to Jones. The movie, he didn't drink the Kool-Aid. The movie says that he, or implies that he was shot by someone, but I don't
I
know.
think, man, I don't remember now. Does it say on the Wikipedia?
I don't know. I'm looking.
So he didn't drink his own fucking Kool-Aid?
No, 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 no,
So
no.
he's getting all these people to die, but
Yes,
he's not going to.
no. It talks about a bunch of uh, conditions that he claimed to have, but that it was all part of the
Yeah,
con.
he would cure himself and other people of cancer. He would always have cancer and then cured, or he'd have some kind of severe ailment, and then God would cure him. And all the time, even some of his closest members would have kind of the same thing going on.
Yeah, back in
Hmm.
the 60s, he was he was supported by Harvey Milk. You know who that is? Harvey
No,
Milk?
no.
He was an openly gay politician in San Francisco who was I think he was murdered or something. He was definitely mistreated for being homosexual. It doesn't say that I could find, but there's lots to sift through on one of these motherfuckers. Like I said, the movie shows him sitting there after everybody's dead or whatever, and you hear a gunshot, and he kind of flinches, and then he just hunches over.
Yeah, I want to say the authorities were there on the island and they just hadn't made it to the camp
Right.
yet. And
Yeah.
I don't know if he ran out to meet them and got shot. You know, he went out guns blazing.
Yeah, I don't know. Or if they came and shot him while he was sitting on his throne. That's where he was when everybody was dying, at least according to the fucking movie. Both movies. Right. So that was Jonestown was one when I was a kid in the 70s, 60s and 70s. Well, here's a modern one. You know, we originally were going to talk about Waco, Texas, and the Branch Davidians. I was going to talk about Heaven's Gate, the ones that in Los Angeles that thought that Hale-Bopp Comet had it was a spaceship coming to take them. They were all going to be taken. And that story is really pretty crazy because you talk about some con people. Them people were cons from like the 40s and 50s. They were old. Do you remember Heaven's Gate?
No.
And they
I've
all
never
wore
well, I've heard of that. Like I have heard of that, but I don't know much about it.
well,
Enlighten
the
me.
Branch Davidians were he thought he was Jesus, he was Messiah, he preached all the, but he was much like Jim Jones, he was having sex with all the women, was making babies with all the women. Everybody was coming to him to give him, he was the Messiah, the Father, or whatever. The Heaven's Gate is kind of the same thing, but theirs had a out of alien uh, flavor to it. It wasn't Jesus, it wasn't God, it was these aliens
Okay.
were coming.
So
They
like
all,
another world, they controlled us, they
remember,
existed, and we were all tools for them kind of thing?
well, that's who their God was these aliens, and they were coming to take them home.
Okay.
Do you remember the Hale-Bopp
Yeah.
comet? It's just a comet that is in the sky, and you could walk out and see it. And it was pretty cool. I remember going to see it, but they believed this mothership was in this Hale-Bopp comet heading towards
Oh,
Earth to come and take them home to their
gotcha.
whatever their planet was. They all had their hair cut the exact same way. They all wore identical Adidas tracksuits and white sneakers. Like all these
Okay, I
people
think
lived
I
in this
do
house,
remember. When was
and
this?
they ended up killing themselves too the night of the thing. They planned it
When
out,
was this?
announced it. 1997.
Okay, because I kind of do remember when you said Adidas tracksuits and
Yeah.
they all looked
Yeah.
the same. I kind of
Hmm.
do remember that a little bit.
New Age Christian millenarianism and ufology. Heaven's Gate. The next level, the evolutionary level above human. That's what they were preaching.
So what happened to all these people? Where is it at now?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
well,
saying?
everybody killed themselves. Once
Okay, so
again,
they all committed suicide?
Waco, Texas happened and they died burned up or shot by our government
Right.
or shot by them, shot themselves or whatever. Some people say that the Branch Davidians set their own fires and caused the place to go up in flames. They're saying that our government did it and with their tank and shit. They had a
Right.
tank, all that stuff.
Right. They did. They had all that.
I remember seeing the live, news footage of it going on. CNN was camped outside for weeks and, however long it took, standoff or whatever. This was a little bit more, the Heaven's Gate was a little bit more under the radar. until after the fact. I mean, they were aware of this guy because he, like I said, they'd been around since like the 50s or something from Texas. The people, the mom and the dad, or whatever they were called. I don't remember what I was going to say about that. Oh, here's Applewhite spent 6 months in jail, primarily in Missouri. He had stolen a rental car from St. Louis 9 months earlier. I didn't realize there was a St. Louis connection. Wow, that's pretty far. That's the Heaven's Gate deal. Whatever.
Oh.
Once again, I don't know that there are any left. There aren't any people left. They all killed themselves.
But was
I
it
think
like a
everybody.
drinking the Kool-Aid kind of episode where they all like did it together? Or
Yes,
was it
I think yes, it was a mass suicide type deal. But they were doing it to, be raptured by this fucking alien inside of a comet. Once again, I go back to how are you so desperate that is something that you're willing to buy into and kill yourself for it?
I think it's mental health, man. There's
Well,
something not right there because I mean, at some point, like you would be like, okay, this isn't right, or you would have some questions. I don't know, but
well,
it's happened to a lot of people.
it has. This one here is pretty recent, 2021. It's a group known as Mother God, the woman named Mother God. Amy
Some
Carlson
weird ass shit, man.
described herself as, among other things, the creator of the universe, combining New Age spirituality, Abrahamic religions, conspiracy theories, and pop culture. It's been described by many, including ex-members and media outlets, as a cult. The group had between 12 and 20 full-time members, so it's not real large. They
They're
were living
still
with
members today.
Carlson at the time of her death. Yeah. You read down the story, she hooks up with this guy, and he's already kind of got a cult thing going. And together they're just banging and doing all the things that people do. She was a manager at McDonald's. That's pretty funny, I think.
Yeah, she was just like a normal, whatever person, but she was lost. Like, and I think that's a lot of people. Like, they don't feel like they have a purpose, or they feel like their purpose is not being fulfilled properly, maybe. I'm not exactly sure, but that's what I think it went with her. And because there's a documentary out called Love Has Won,
Mm-hmm.
and that is a very intriguing documentary about this woman.
Yeah.
And she is, though, everything like, yeah, you should watch it, man. It'll blow your mind. I wish you would have watched it so that we could talk about it. I know. I get it. But the reason why I think she was so intriguing is that she was the victim and the leader. Like, she was the leader of the cult, but she was the ultimate victim of it too. And still to this day, this cult, some of these people are still together. Like in this documentary, they did interview some of them, but some of them are still in it.
They've changed of it, and they've changed it, but
yeah,
it's still there.
yeah, it's just so bizarre.
But she was insane. She claims to be 19 billion years old. She's birthed all of creation. She'd been reincarnated 534 times, including Jesus, Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, and Marilyn Monroe. She would lead 144,000 people into a mystical fifth dimension. She had several
Well, and that's the
romantic
thing, like,
partners.
you're watching this, like, I'm watching this documentary about this woman, and everything that she's talking about and all this stuff is absolutely bizarre. I don't believe any of it, right? I don't believe she's ever,
No.
all of the things, not one. But
No.
how did she get so many
That's what I'm
followers?
saying.
And
How did
how do they do the things that they do? And they would travel because like people around them would start to throw up the red flags for the community, you know, and the community would be like, hey, what's going on over here? And then they'd all pick up and move.
Yeah.
And that's how they would do, you know, to make it as long as they could. But and then she was poisoning herself. She died. So she was the ultimate victim from her own cult. And
Yeah, but in her mind, maybe she, maybe she was going to Valhalla or whatever. Maybe she bought into it.
watch it, man. Just watch it.
The thing that is different about this one and the other one is that the things that she's using as evidence to support her position are all crazy.
Crazy. I know. She's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. How do you get followers when you're that crazy? That's what I want to know.
Well, I guess if you're crazy too, I mean, does all her followers insane?
I mean, yeah, they all think that she is Mother God. I mean,
She's
so
claiming
they do think that, but they whenever they're sitting there talking, like in the documentary, no, they're talking like normal people, but they're just saying weird things. So and they look like normal people.
Yeah. Claiming to
So it's
talk to
just
Robin Williams' spirit.
mhm.
Donald Trump was her father in a past life.
I
She's
mean, all kinds
communicated
of
with
crazy
Whitney
shit.
Houston and Rodney Dangerfield in the afterlife. Atlantis, Anunnaki, reptilians. She believes the world was run by a cabal determined to keep the planet in a low vibration state.
Yes. I mean, it was just all bizarre.
Pandemic was planned. 9/11 didn't happen. Holocaust didn't happen. Sandy Hook didn't happen. Anti-Semitic and racist remarks, including support for Adolf Hitler. Alternative medicine. Eliminate negative energy from your body. Accused of
That's
brainwashing.
what ended up killing her, is that she was getting
Yeah.
poisoned.
Yeah, she was taking enemas and shit too, taking colloidal silver,
Yes. And it was turning her
turning
like
her dark.
blue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she was slowly dying, and they were trying to get her help, like people around, and they would just move her to somewhere else because, you know, she was saying, no, don't let them touch me. Don't, you know,
Yeah.
you're doing what's right. And, you know, that's what's so bizarre about the whole thing.
Yeah. Here,
Because
listen
they
to
were even like, Mother, do we need to take you? And she's like, no, this is
this.
what's
Right.
supposed to happen. You
They're
know,
in
like,
an RV park in Mount Shasta, California.
mm-hmm.
He was last seen alive by someone outside the group. On April 28th, 2021, the mummified corpse of Carlson was discovered in the mission house near Crestone. Its state of decay suggested that she had been dead for several weeks.
And
She
they
was
said she was
45.
sleeping.
The body was found in a sleeping bag wrapped in Christmas lights, her face covered in glitter in what authorities stated was a makeshift shrine. 7 members were charged with abuse of the corpse as well as child abuse due to the presence of 2 children on the property. A photo from a few weeks before she is thought to have died shows her appearance to be emaciated with thinning hair and discolored skin with purple hue because of the colloidal silver.
Mm-hmm.
The group had been previously promoting it as a cure for COVID. They propped her up and were worshiping her after she died. She
Well,
was
and like
dead.
some of the things that they were doing, like the reason why she was like that is like the glitter and stuff, because she was so appalling. Like she was poisoning herself.
Yeah.
So they were doing those things to make her look better and like all the,
Right.
dude, it was so
Gross.
bizarre.
That's like
It's just so
Ed
crazy.
Gein shit. That's like monster stuff.
Mhm.
With a dead, when they could take her skin off and use it as a mask. Fucking Dr. Mengele. So what now? All that shit we just read about her, what kind of a person are you that you
That is exactly my
that
fucking
you
point.
can I just don't get it.
That's my
I
fucking
don't
point.
get
It
how you could
I was
possibly.
watching this documentary the whole time, and every single person that was talking, like, I'm like, "Yeah, I feel like I could be out in public, out in the wild, and see them and talk to them at some point, like, whatever, in an interaction, and I would never think that they would believe this woman's craziness." Like, what makes you do that? What make
Well, I can, like I said, the other cases we talked about, I can see those things happening in the '60s with Jim Jones, and especially the way he was so charismatic and giving and helping. He appeared genuine and authentic. I think even
Yeah,
David Koresh had similar thing. He was preaching out of the Bible, which a lot of people believe in the Bible. So if he's reading stuff out of the Bible, and then he's got to be right, right? And all of these marginalized people that are just desperate and needing some relief from their oppression or whatever, their actual, I could see in those situations. But these other, like Heaven's Gate and this other one, Mother of God, there's something wrong with you if you believe that. If you think that that's in any way possible.
I know. It's more like it's like the way that it makes that person feel or something, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, well, then I'm just gonna follow you and believe everything that you say." There's something wrong with you
Yeah.
if you think that.
Well, you need more help than they're going to be able to give you. That's for sure. You need some pretty intensive psychiatric evaluation or something, man. I don't. What draws people? What's the Hare Krishnas? You ever hear of Hare Krishnas?
Yeah, I took a college course and it was on religion. And it was like like an in-between course. It was only like 3 weeks long. So our instructor took us, instead of sitting in class for 3 weeks and learning about different religions, he took us to like different churches and temples and different things around the St. Louis area. And we went to the Hare Krishna temple or whatever it's called. Bizarre.
Well, that's a real religion, or is that a cult?
Mhm.
It's a real religion.
Well, they claim
Who do,
as to be a religion.
who do they worship? I only remember Hare Krishnas as like a joke, like a meme. If you ever watch the movie Airplane, there's a couple of Hare Krishnas in both the Airplane movies because it's a meme that they're at airports wanting to give you. But they always played it off like it was a cult, like they were
No, I
hippies
think
that
they're
it.
a religion.
Hmm.
Because this was like a temple or something. And the most bizarre thing is that we walked in and we all had to take our shoes off. It was very quiet. And there was these people that were redoing these like flower portraits that were all over. They were like all over. And there was a guy that greeted us, asked us to take off our shoes. We went and sat down. We all sat down. He sat down in the center and we all sat down Indian style. And he sat like kind of weird Indian style. And he started telling us about his religion, and then, like, in the middle, like, of his sentence, he just, like, started saying weird language shit, and then laid back, like, on the ground and just, like, chanted shit, and, like, I
Mm,
don't know, it was like he was laid down like this, and then
meditation.
he sat up and started talking again, like, about everything. Like, it was just weird. It was weird. And they talked like,
Is it Indian? Are they talking in Indian? It seemed to me
no,
that
it's
if Krishna and Vishnu, that's Indian.
yeah, but it's more maybe it is kind of an Indian language, it might be. I mean, it sounds like it would be, but it was
But they're Muslims
yeah,
or Hindu.
I don't know, this was also 20 years ago. So,
Well, I brought him up because like I said, I thought it was kind of. I was going to talk. I thought it was a cult.
well, I mean,
The
I would have
Moonies.
I
You ever
think
hear of the
I
Moonies?
there's a part of me that thinks sometimes religions are cults, you know?
Well, I guess, except cults usually have a person that they're. Well, hmm. That's a good point. Maybe that's why I brought up Hare Krishnas thinking it was a cult, because maybe they all are. They're not. Well, they're claiming to be the,
I guess what's the definition of a cult?
well, someone, a group of people that all share the same belief and rally around this one figurehead that claims to be able to give them redemption and take them to heaven. I don't know. I've always distinguished them in my mind for some reason.
I kind of always put them in the same book.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know. I still feel like it's cult.
they're
Like I
not.
do think religion feels culty. Like I think there's a lot of religious people that I know who are like, oh, we can't associate with people who are not as religious as us or not the same religion or not. That's culty.
Yeah, but my religion that I was raised as preached to accept everyone. All have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Jesus said, why do I want to go hang out with a bunch of people that are just like me that's already saved? I need to go and hang out with the people that ain't heard the message and go bring them into the flock. But that sounds kind of like some cult shit.
You said it, not me, buddy.
That's craziness. Having a spiritual fucking breakdown right here.
Are you, buddy? You never thought about it like that?
No, like I said, I always separated them. But sitting here looking at the facts of these four cases we've cited, the biggest difference is that we haven't found out whether the Bible's full of shit or not yet. The first four, the ones that we talked about, they all ended up being bullshit. We know that now.
We saw the beginning, middle, and end. Are we still just living in one right now with all the
Well,
other religions?
this one ain't ended yet.
I know.
Wow. Dilemma.
Well, and then also like when I grew up in church,
Me too.
and I don't go to church anymore.
No,
But let me tell you, anybody that does go to church, they really want me to go. They
yeah,
really want me to go.
they do.
And then like and I don't really the thing is about church is like I am religious. I do believe I'm spiritual, I think, but I do believe I don't know if it's God. I don't know even want to get into all that. But every church I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of different ones, it's all different. So if they're all preaching, like one Methodist church is not the same as another Methodist.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much the same. They're the same within their genre or their, you go to a
No, I
Baptist
just
church.
feel like it's whoever's the preacher. That's what we're getting. Whatever they deem to decide to preach on or how they interpret and how they want to spread the message.
Yeah, but
It's
they're
all
getting,
about the preacher or the pastor or the priest or whoever's
yes,
leading that
no,
church.
no, their answers are from the book, though. That's what I'm saying. The word provides the answers.
But isn't
The
that
questions may be different depending on which and the tact they're taking, but the preachers themselves are all preaching the same message. Give
I
your
don't know
life to
because
God.
sometimes I've been to some churches where they say go spread the word to everyone, talk to everyone, blah 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 blah. Try to get anyone and everyone in this church. Then I've also been to other churches that said if they're not Christians, don't associate. If you don't want your kids to go around non-Christians because they'll rub off on you. And like
Mm.
I've had that kind of message sent to me too. And both were Christian churches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all like going back, wrapping it back to the cult thing. It's all still kind of culty vibes.
Yeah, well,
Like
if you look
all
at
of them are.
Muslim, that seems pretty culty to me.
Mhm.
When you have people openly, publicly converting to Islam. Muhammad Ali, famous for that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was a basketball player. He was in Airplane, as a matter of fact. We mentioned that earlier, but Um, Cat Stevens, Cat Stevens, this.
Yeah.
He's a musician. He converted to Islam. His new name is Yusef instead of Cat. He was a hippie. Now he's a Muslim. I don't know, man. Do you think people turn to cults as it? Like religion is, you're brought up into it.
Yeah, but why do people go to
You're
religious
given a
things
choice.
anyways?
You're given a
It's because
choice
it makes you feel
in
good.
religion. You're given a choice in religion. You don't have to take it. But I think in a cult, you have to take it. You have to, like, you're forced into it.
No, because if I were to go to church and be like, "Oh, well, I don't think that that's right. I don't believe any of this. I don't believe any of this. I don't," they would probably say, "Don't come back."
Yeah. No, Jim Jones said if you try to escape, I'm going to beat the crap out of you and put you in a pit and feed you drugs.
Well, yeah, but that's a little bit different.
Church don't do that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
Well,
saying,
we're
like,
looking at differences between cult and religion, I thought, and that's one. That's a difference.
no, we were talking about how cults and religions are even alike because you always differentiated them. When you think Hare Krishna was a cult, and I thought it was a religion.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I always thought it was a cult.
I never thought about it being a cult. I thought it was always a religion.
The Moonies, that was a religion he claimed. The Reverend Sum Young Moon. You ever heard of him?
No.
He performed like a wedding where he married like 1 million people or something. It was some astronomical number. I don't know how many people it actually was, but all around the world, gathered them all on the same day and the same time, and everybody got married at the same time. I remember that being on TV.
Well, like I remember in the 90s, like every single time you ever saw in a movie or a show and they were at an airport, there was always a Hare Krishna trying to give him a flower.
Yeah, and hassling them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every single time. But that was the only time I've ever seen them. And then whenever I took that religion class, we went there.
And I don't think I've ever seen one in real life. Seen them on movies and TV and shit. I don't know anybody that's ever been affected by a cult or brainwashed
do.
or anything like that. You do?
Yeah. I used to work with a girl and many years ago, 10 years ago, 10, whatever. Well, she was born and raised like her mom and her dad and like they were in a cult and I forget what it was called, but it was in Tennessee. And there's some here in Missouri. And they ended up getting out when she was like 16 or 17. And her and her sister. And then her mom and her brother got out when he was like 18 or 19. But her parents are like still in it. She never spoke to her parents ever again. Nothing like it. They're still in it. Like it's still going on. But they
Wow.
claim it's religion, and I forget what religion she called it. But she's like, I was like, I've never heard of that. She goes, because it's not a religion. It's a cult. It's a cult. So, and then like she ended up marrying some guy that from another country, and then she moved there, but now she's back. And so like her and her sister are pretty close now, but they went years with like it was just kind of rough. Her life was rough after that because she was like
Mm.
getting into society and she doesn't know anything. And she was like molested. And I mean, all the things that happen in cults happened,
Yeah, well,
you
all those
know.
things happen in religion too.
I know.
Oops. Got distracted. The Amish. Amish
I
are
was going to
kind
bring that up earlier
of
because I see
culty.
them all around. And I mean, yeah, they shun you.
Well, yeah, I was
I
gonna
mean,
say they'll see you get an opportunity to go and live without it and be like, okay, now which one do you choose? And if you turn your back on, then they turn their back on you and you're shunned. That's pretty
Rumspringer.
that's pretty culty.
Yeah. And then if you don't, like, if you, like, some people, there's different ways to go about it. Like, you can go through Rumspringer and still go out into the world, but still be able to be with your family and stuff. You're not shunned. But most of them, the way that they go out, they get shunned.
Yeah.
That is a cult. Let me tell you. Like,
Well, once again, you're forced. They're forcing you.
yeah,
I
maybe it's
don't think
considered a
that,
cult when you lose your free will. Like, I mean, that's what our country gives you. You know, your humanity. You have a right to free will, and if you don't anymore, maybe you're in a cult.
yeah, yeah. And you don't have to give up your individuality and everything. You don't have to be exactly like everybody else. That's something like Heaven's Gate for sure. And I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there for any of them, so I don't know about that. But uh, they all became like one, like they were all worker bees, kind of. You know,
Yeah, and
it
that
makes
Mother
sense.
Earth or that Mother God, that's how it was, like, when they would build the new place that they would go, they'd send all the little bees in, little ants,
To
little worker
set
ants, and
it
they'd
up,
go in and do everything, like, get everybody's all build everything, get everybody situated,
right?
whatever they needed to do, and then they'd come on in. So it was just like, it was very organized. So, I mean, they were on top of their shit enough to get however many people from one place to another and to live and all those things, but they couldn't stay long because none of the community was having it.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
just crazy. But my whole thing is like every single time I watch anything about this, I always think like I don't know how people could ever be in a cult. But then again, there's people in my life that I've talked to, and after I get done talking with them, I'm like, there's just like they're searching for something too hard and they don't know what they're searching for. And I could just see that where some person comes along in their life and says, "Oh, look at this," and it ends up making them really happy, and they would totally join a cult. I think that's just how it happens. You're looking for purpose, and they're in the right place at the right time and are giving that to you. And so now they guess they can do no, I don't know. Such fucking psycho shit.
And they're all preaching utopia. Even the religions, they're if you live the way
Man, is
they
this
want
really
God
throwing
wants
you
you to
off,
live,
Corey?
huh?
Is it really throwing you off, man?
Yes. I,
You're sitting there like stumped, like, man, they're all having this. And you're right.
telling you,
They
man,
have this too.
my eyes have been opened up to a possibility that I previously thought was impossible. I never, especially from the perspective that my mom had teaching me these things. She didn't think it was a cult.
No,
She thought it was the only way to live your life, the best
sis,
way to live your life.
a book.
Yeah, an old book, thousands of years old, man. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Maybe it is. So, well, then by that metric, if those Jonestown and all at Heaven's Gate, that was bad. Well, is this bad? If you believe in that, I don't feel like it's bad. I don't think it'll hurt you to become a Christian and live that lifestyle. Even if it doesn't turn out to be true, you'll have lived a better life and you'll be
Right.
more
And I think
sane
that's
and
where a lot of religions are.
calm.
That's why they're successful and that's why they're so large, is because
Maybe
their intent is for love and happiness and peace.
living a good
You know,
life.
yeah, and that's like my sister, she doesn't have the same beliefs as me. And so whenever I talk about things, she's like, I just don't. And I was like, I know, but it just makes me feel good. Like it makes me feel good to think about, God and all those things like that because that's how I was raised. And it does, I think that's faith. People, it makes them feel good. They're doing better things. They're making better choices. They're receiving positive things because their mind
Hmm.
is more positive. There's no harm in that. Let's just
No,
keep doing that. Everybody needs
right.
to probably do a little bit more
That's
of
what
that.
I'm saying.
So I'm not like, who am I to judge how they get their happiness or their peace? If
Right.
that's how they do it, then fine. But as long
Yeah,
as they're
people
not
have
all
strengths.
sending out Kool-Aid for everyone to drink, we're good. You know?
I don't have a problem with them wanting to share it with me and saying that because they care.
Yeah, or like if something's going on, somebody wants to
But
pray with me or whatever. Yeah,
right,
do it.
sure,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
pray for me all you want. Yeah, man, it didn't hurt me one
And please,
bit.
like sometimes when stuff's going on, I'll be like, yeah, let's pray. Like I'll ask, let's pray.
I pray all the
But
time, dude.
but I just don't. I don't know. It is kind of culty. That's where I always go. It is kind of there.
Well, I've taken a turn that I didn't expect.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. It'll be fine. I have an existential crisis about once a week. It's fine.
It's called anxiety, dude.
It's called being alive on Earth. Period. Oh yeah, you need to talk about your cat. And I know there was a
Update
last
on the
time we
cat.
were together. You were like any day now, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, man, Wolfen, but it was any day now, wasn't it?
Yep. It was 3 days later on Sunday. She delivered 5 cute as a button kittens.
Of course.
And she's doing great. All 5 kittens are doing great. She's doing a great mama. She's all the things. I had a little kennel set up in our room for her to like go into, hoping, praying that maybe, she did. She did go in there, but I had it set up for a couple weeks. So she had been sleeping in there and stuff. So she felt safe and secure. And that was the whole point. She did. She had them in there. Cleaned them all out. She's still in there. She hasn't moved them or anything. So I guess she still feels safe in there. And I'm pretty sure they're all boys.
Why? What makes you say that? They're way too young to sex now, aren't they?
I don't think so.
These are like 3-4 days old.
No, they all got little Peters.
Yeah?
Little Peters sticking out. But they're cute, Corey. They're so cute. So
yeah, all of them are cute.
So she's a gray tabby, right? So, and she's full gray tabby. She don't have any white on her or anything. The tip of her tail is black, but that's it.
Right.
She's just
Yeah.
all gray tabby. And then, so all of her kittens have white paws, like the socks, and then the white strip on their nose, and the white under, and the white belly, like tuxedo.
Yeah.
But then all the black part that would be tuxedo is gray tabby mixed with orange tabby. Like it's a calico tabby.
Mhm.
They're fucking bizarre, crazy looking, but they're so cute.
Yeah.
They have every color. They have every color on each one of them.
You can't tell Brene any of this, by the way.
I know.
Don't. I know
Well,
you
she already
told
knows
her.
they're here.
I know.
Told her that they were here.
Yeah, we already had a big fucking argument about it already. God damn
I'm
it.
sorry.
Killing me. You're fucking killing me.
I can't not tell her.
Yes, you could.
You just want me to keep it a
Yes, you
secret?
could.
No, I have to tell her.
No, you can't keep it a secret, but you're still killing me.
Well, I think we are probably going to keep a couple of them for the barn.
Yeah.
Put them out there. We need some. We need some cats out there. And what we're going to do is I want to get, how we have the coop that was like an old shed. And I want to like find another shed that somebody's like wanting to get rid of and repurpose it just like that, but make it like an animal thing. Where I can leave the animals outside all winter and have it like heated and all the things, because I can't do the animals in the house anymore. I'm done. I live in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
I cannot do this anymore.
Exactly. But look at what you're trying to promote is to have me have that.
One cat. I want you to have
No.
one.
No.
All right. Okay. Then you should just never look at how cute they are then, because they are fucking cute.
I don't have a problem. I'm not tempted. I can, it's fine. I have always enjoyed having pets. The connection you have with an animal is special. I get it. I've had it. I understand. But I also know that there's a lot. It's like, once again, we talked a while ago about how long the list of the good things that having kids brings.
Oh yeah.
But there's a long list of bad things about it. Same deal with the cats. I get it.
Oh yeah. Life without animals is a lot more peaceful, but it's also a lot more quieter. Same thing
Yeah.
with kids.
Yeah. Less air, less feces, less urine, less everything. Whining to be fed when you're not really in the mood to feed them, or ready to, or capable of, or whatever. Differences
Yeah.
on obedience, punishments, and shit like that. No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay.
Maybe in a
That's,
while, you know.
the boy asked for a dog for Christmas.
You've got two. Did you say no?
Yeah. I said, do you, I could, actually, I think I said, how many animals do you think we can fit into this house?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's like, we can have a dog, another dog. I want a dog. I want a dog. It's my dog. Okay, well then, whenever you get older and get your own house, you can
Yeah.
get your own dog.
Have one of the two dogs that are there. Claim Achilles. I mean, you know him. You raised him from a puppy.
I
Dylan did.
said, we
He was there.
now have 2 dogs, 7 cats,
Yeah. A fish.
7, a fish, 2 snails. 'Cause we couldn't just get a fish. I had to have friends in there, so we got 2 snails. And then I have, I think,
30
like 20
chickens.
something chickens.
Yeah.
I'm done. I can't take any more animals. It's too many. We have a lot of mouths to feed. Me and Dan were just talking about that. Like, do you know how many mouths that I feed every single day?
I do.
I think we have 23 chickens, 2
I do.
dogs, 7 cats. That's 32 plus 2 kids and a husband and my mouth.
Yeah.
So I feed 30 something mouths every single day.
Yep. And when you had hogs, that was 2 extra right there.
4 extra.
Oh, did you have 4?
Yeah. This round we had 4. Last round we
Yeah.
had 8.
I only saw that one. You had 8 hogs?
Last round we did. Yeah.
8? Where did they go?
We sent them all to the butcher. They all
You
found them.
had 8 hogs worth of.
Not this time. Not
The
this
last
time.
time. I thought there were only 2. We
This
killed
time that
one
we just did it, like this year when we did our hogs and we did everything, we did 4.
this last time.
Yes.
This most recent time.
Yes.
The time
Like the one that,
before that
yes,
was that the
8.
when we attempted to butcher them?
Yes.
And you had 8. Why were we doing one and sending the rest to? There weren't
Because
8
we
in the
were doing
pig, were there?
ours. No, there was the one for the neighbor and ours because the other 6 Dan had already taken to the butcher because those were going to other people. We were gonna butcher our own to save that money,
Okay, I
and
got
that's why. And the neighbor was going somewhere else because we took the rest of the Amish. The neighbor was going somewhere else.
you.
So
Go
we
take
had to
care.
save back that hog, and we saved back the one that we were gonna process here. And then the rest of them, Dan had taken
Mm,
that week before over to the Amish.
okay.
8 was the largest number that we've done at a time, and that was too many. We'll never do that much because the amount of
That's a lot.
feed
Yeah.
was insane. We just couldn't keep up. Like,
Yeah.
financially, we couldn't keep up. We didn't have that much of a cushion. So it was stretching us pretty tight. Now the payoff, we broke even, so we got all of our money back, but we didn't make a profit except for we
Right.
did get a hog in the freezer for free.
Well,
We just
that's
had,
that's
I
nice
know,
profit.
that's huge. That's the reason why we do it. And that's
Yeah.
all we get out of it is a hog, which is enough. I mean, I say it's all we get. That's why we do it.
It's quite a bit.
I know.
It'll feed you how many times?
Oh, yeah. We still got
100? 100 meals out of it? I mean, I don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot.
It is a lot. We eat a lot of pork. Can't afford beef, dude. Can't afford beef.
Beef's
Can't
so
even afford it on
expensive.
sale. Like even on sale and marked down because it's close days or whatever, still can't afford it. Like, no, I don't want to pay that.
And
Renee
it's like
bought,
that everywhere.
yeah, Renee bought steak the other night. It was $40
Yeah.
just for the steak, just to feed
I
her
bought
and
a
I a steak.
roast. We
Yeah,
were
fuck that.
we were out of beef roast, and I had went to the store and bought one, and it was $36.
Yeah, yeah. And me and Renee would need as much as you feeding four. We gotta feed four too because we don't eat all the. We could get a
Right.
smaller roast
And my
and a bunch
friend
more
Desiree,
potatoes.
my friend and her husband, and he's like all meat diet.
Yeah,
Like he's
me
doing
too.
that diet. And yeah, they eat the same way. Well, she doesn't really, but he does.
Mm,
And she's like, so they got one of our hogs this year.
nice.
But she's like, she goes, it's insane how much meat we have to go through. And then whenever I go to the store, she's like, I spent a couple $100 just on meat for the week.
Yep. Yep.
It's insane.
I don't see how people are doing it, man. I really don't. I walk through the grocery store and see people and their carts are heaped. It's not just that they've got a week's worth of groceries in the bottom of the basket. It's heaping. Like they can't put more in it.
Mm-mm.
And I get
I
to the register with my, and it's $326 for two people. Well, technically four because we eat double up on the meat or whatever, but their
yeah,
their
whenever
bill's
I go
gonna
to
be
the
$1,000.
I know
Their
when I
bill's
go to the
gonna be a
grocery
thousand bucks.
store, I go to the grocery store, I'll go to like the Walmart and do that kind of shopping. And then I'll go to the grocery store. I usually go to Aldi and I'll go there. And if my cart is like getting up to the top, like if I'm getting to the top, like the level part of the cart, I literally start to have a little bit of a panic attack because I know it's going to be over $200 and I'm
Yeah,
kind of fucking mildly freaking out
yeah,
because I know I just spent 175 at Walmart and now I'm
right.
gonna spend over $200 at
Yeah,
Aldi's, and I'm going home, and I have to put gas in my van on the way home.
yeah,
So now I'm going home. I've been gone for 3 hours, and I just spent $500.
yeah.
It makes me sick to my stomach. Like I literally get anxiety, panic attacks. And then like I'll call Dad and he'll be like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I just left the store and I hate it. I didn't even get everything I needed because I just
Right.
stopped because I just was freaking out and left." I'm like, "I can't go through the freezer aisle. I can't go through and no, I'm just leaving. I get the milk and I go because I freak out. It's
Yeah.
just too expensive.
Yeah, we don't drink milk anymore, but
And I'm feeding a growing boy that eats like insane.
hmm well, you're fucking old man. He's got a hollow leg too, man. His motor runs 800 RPMs all the time.
For in the mornings when we make eggs for all four of us, we are making almost 2 dozen. And I
Yeah,
eat 2 or 3. My boy will eat a dozen eggs. It's
I could eat a
insane.
bunch if that's all that there is. There's no meat or nothing. I used to would have made egg sandwiches or whatever. I can't do that no more. Not a big fan of that anymore. Anyway, not anymore. Hmm. Gotta have some protein though. Eggs are good protein, but you gotta have some meat, crispy, something, sausage, bacon, some kind of hog,
Yeah.
ham, bacon, sausage. I guess you could have beef, steak, and eggs.
Yeah, well, in our freezer now, we got beef and hog and deer, venison.
Yeah, yeah,
We're ready for the winter, baby.
right on. I'm not. I'm not ready for winter, especially with this highway nonsense.
Yeah, dude, that is getting ugly.
There's a stretch
How
of
long
highway
does it
that's
take you to get to work in the morning?
longer than it used to, like 30 minutes now. There's a stretch of highway between Warrenton and Wright City on 70 that since they began which was earlier this summer, like in May, 68 accidents and highway closures where they shut it down. No one's allowed on, can't get off because you're trapped. 68. Like 80% of them involved an overturned semi.
I know. I've been watching the news every morning, and I see him every morning, and I see him every night.
It happens every day.
Mhm.
There was traffic on it today, like backed up from an accident. My boss was late getting to work.
Yep.
Or one of my bosses. I got like 55 bosses. Don't even get me started talking about that.
That's not.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know what's going to happen this winter when it starts snowing and icy and shit like that. It's just the highway department isn't doing a very good job, and the people driving that stretch of road aren't doing a very good job. People are
No,
distracted.
I
Drive
drove
way
it
too fast.
when it first was going on, and it was kind of crazy to me. The lanes were really tiny, and I
Yeah,
didn't like it.
they
And
still are.
then I was watching on the news every morning how there's accidents there left and right. And as soon as they clean up one, bam, another one.
Yeah.
And so I just stopped taking it. I go around, or I'll even go all the way around if I have to.
So
I will not take that stretch of road
you can't
anymore.
now. They've actually closed one of the service roads, so you can't even use it as an option now.
Why?
Because they're having to rebuild all the bridges.
Mm.
The bridges that are in place across 70 now weren't designed for 6 lanes of traffic. It was designed for 4 lanes of traffic. So they're having to redo some of them. And they're having to use that road as an access road and a place to park equipment and materials and stuff like that, staging for that kind of shit. All them big concrete barriers that they put up, they got to store them over there somewhere before they put them up on the highway. You know what I mean? It's moving along faster than I thought it was. When it first started, it was like there was never anybody out there doing anything. I never saw any crews. I never saw and then all of a sudden one day it was all tore up and all the trees were gone and it was flattened and just raised, just scorched earth kind of a deal. And then there was another couple of weeks where you didn't really see anybody doing anything. They weren't doing. The next thing you know, boom, there's forms up, there's concrete, there's rebar, there's machinery, there's guys running around. Yellow hats and vests on. This has been a problem for far too long for it to have to be this great of an undertaking all at once. They should have been doing a little bit at a time every year for years. And they should just pick a section and fix it. Leave everything else the way it is, except for the one section they're working on, instead of trying to do the whole entire thing all at once.
They're not. They are doing that. But their section they're working on right now is
but-
Warrenton to Wentzville.
Well, okay. Well, then good. That's the one that needs it the worst.
Well, that's where they're working right now because before that, they were Wentzville or Warrenton to Columbia. They did that for a year. And then before that, it was Columbia to whatever because they're redoing all of 70 all the way down.
Yeah.
To be 4 lanes all the way to the city. So
3.
they've been doing it. So now from Warrenton to Columbia is 4 lanes. It's all done. But from Warrenton to Wentzville is where they're working right now. And but there's so many fucking people that go through there, and every single one of them is flying like they're the only person on the fucking road.
Got their feet up on the dash, cell phone
Oh,
in their hand.
on their fucking cell phone.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm just
cool.
like, I can't take people thinking that they're the only person in this fucking world. Drives me
Well,
nuts.
love and think, man.
I've been living out in this country for like 8 years in this country atmosphere from the city. And every single time I drive in, I can't stand it more and more and more. And every single time I get there, I just want to turn around, come right back home because I can't take people and their inconsideration for other people.
Yep. There's plenty of that, dude. I hate to use the word, but entitlement. People are just so entitled to everything. I'm more important. My time is more important than yours. I need to get home to my family more than you need to get home to your family. My day was harder than yours. I'm ready to, that's why they're in a hurry to get home. Why I'm in a hurry to get home in the afternoon. I don't think people cooperate. There's plenty of room for everybody if everybody would, just stay in their lane and do their thing and follow the rules. Walter Sobchak, baby. Am I the only one here that gives a shit about the rules? Nobody else does, it seems.
And I get it. Like I mean, I understand like you're not going to follow all the rules. Like I get it. Like you're just sometimes rules are meant to be broken. But if it's a safety thing, like I mean, and like on the road, I watched it was from that stretch between Warrenton and Wentzville or
Mhm.
Wright City.
Right.
And it was a tractor trailer's view. And he was going on, and this car went past him and then cut him off. And he went off onto the road, over the service road, down
Yeah.
into woods. And you
Yeah.
watched him, like the whole thing go all, I was just like, oh my God. And that's what the guy said. Between Wentzville and, or Wright City and Warrenton, stay out of them, blah, blah, blah. This was what happened
Yeah.
earlier today. Oh, I'm like, that's ridiculous. And it was some like florist little van or whatever that got, and it was a solid white line, got in there, cut him off. I'm like,
Yep.
that's the solid white line is there because of there's a wall here, got narrow lanes. Don't pass. Just keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what he
Well,
did.
you're not. Don't swap lanes.
Yeah.
The truckers are supposed to be in the right lane. There's a sign that says
He was.
semis right lane only.
He was. And there was a florist guy in the left lane that was passing him. And as soon as he got past him, he got into the right lane, the florist guy. But it was a solid white line. He should have never done that. But then the tractor trailer, he didn't give him enough room. So the tractor trailer had to and then went off and went over and blah, blah, blah. Like, good
Well,
God.
they have those same spots where there's the white line and you're not supposed to pass and none of that shit. And it also shifts this direction at 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So you take,
Really quick.
a 50 or 60-foot long semi. It doesn't really.
No.
That's where I think MoDOT, I guess they're hampered by what's the landscape that's there. They can only put they're having to build a road while people are driving on the road. I get the legit how hard it is, but it just seems like that for whatever reason, and Missouri is the king of summertime road construction. There's road construction on every road in the entire area every summer. Having to fix, stuff that happened during the winter, potholes and stuff because of the scraping. But it seems like the last few years, MoDOT has just really gone downhill. Snow removal last year was
Well,
pathetic.
all those people that are doing that stretch of the highway right there, they're not MoDOT workers. None of them are. MoDOT contracted them out.
Well,
They are not MoDOT workers.
maybe
And that's why MoDOT had to go to them and say, you got to widen the lanes a little bit because their codes that they did were a lot different than what Missouri State is.
Yeah, there was
So
there was 11
Yeah.
inches on either
Yeah.
side.
Yeah,
11
so they had to go to
inches?
them because they contracted them out. I know.
This on either side of a semi.
That's not enough room.
No, it's not.
Anyways, it's not a safe stretch of road, and I would recommend nobody drive on it right now. Just go
Yes, if
around.
you avoid it at all costs. Go down to Washington and take 44 to St. Louis. Although that gets closed every day too.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, kiddo? I'm gonna call it a night.
Yeah.
At least on this portion of the festivities.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. We talked about a lot of stuff. Got some interesting
Is it
things
some
coming up.
mind opening for Corey?
Dude, I'm telling you. I don't know. You shook me. I don't know what to do. I don't want to go to hell.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, but you're gonna. Me too. I don't want to. It's gonna be horrible.
What if we go to heaven?
But we won't. Have you accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior?
No.
You're going to hell. Simple as that.
I used to, but I don't anymore. It's kind of hard with all the contradictions out there, you know.
Mom always said you would know. And I was asked her, like, how do you know, Mom? How do you know? She, you'll know. You'll get a feel. You'll just know. Like, well, if I never got that, what happened? Why didn't I? You know,
Yeah.
she had a moment when she knew, and she became saved.
Yeah, my mom always
got
talked like that
siblings.
too.
I
And
got
like when she
siblings that
died,
same
she
thing.
wasn't worried about herself because she's going to heaven. You
Right.
know, why would you worry about
She
her?
wasn't scared. No.
Yeah.
She was scared, but she still had faith that she'd be taken care of.
Yeah.
And I like to believe that she was, but you know,
I mean, that's what helped me get through some of the hard times is thinking that she is, you know, up there. She is watching. She
Yeah.
is.
yeah, that's where it all comes from. The religion thing. Kind of like how time is invented by man. This was invented by man to, you know,
Mhm.
God and stuff to give us solace and let us know we're not alone and that kind of shit. Maybe. I don't know. Let us know.
Mind
You guys,
opening.
let us know. You guys down in the comments. Anybody, come on.
Yeah.
Comment. Tell us.
Shoot
some
us a
stuff.
comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us if there's anything you want us to talk about.
Is
Let's
cult a
hear it.
religion? I mean, is religion a cult? Are we, if you believe in Jesus and go to heaven, are you a cult member? I don't know. I hope not. But anyway, follow us on social media that we never look at. NOTA 5753 or 3753. I don't even know it. That's how much we go to it. But you guys go to it and check it out. Thanks, Dana, for being there. As always.
Thanks so much, y'all. Please comment.
Off-cam
Tell
Dan.
us anything, something.
Yeah.
And
And,
off-cam Dan that has left the building.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't
Thanks,
leave the
Dan.
building, but
Thanks for everybody for watching. We do appreciate it. We're having a lot of
We love
fun
guys.
getting a kick out of it. We love you. Positive energy. We'll see you in the next one.